/wake up call DT. I hope you're having a fantastic morning this morning. Happy TGIF to all my good people out there, and thank you for your patience. And welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Again, I hope you had a great week. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Healthy mind, healthy body, healthy mind. I hope you're doing it and doing it so very well. So I hope you, I hope this day finds you well. If it doesn't, I hope you only get better from here and that things continue to go well for you. So much love and much positivity being sent your way as always, and happy Friday morning. With that being said, we have a jam-packed show for you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. I'm very excited for what we have going on inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Cafe Kubal here with you on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 208 North Townsend Street, as well as 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, as well as the fact that you can find them in Manlius on the corner, right there, Manlius 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, right at that giant behemoth of a brown-striped building. As you come in to Manlius, they essentially welcome you into Manlius right there, and so it's that building where all the roads converge in Manlius on your way in, 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and their newest location and first ever drive-through location, which you'll find by going to the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road in North Syracuse for Cafe Kubal. So make sure you head out there today. Again, I hope you are enjoying your morning. Your mornings are, I think a morning is better served with some pumpkin spice chai or any of those chais that I love to get from Cafe Kubal, or your favorite coffees and teas and whatnot, as well as their awesome breakfast sandwiches, their chocolate chip banana bread, their chocolate chip cookies, everything they have to offer in my Cafe Kubal studios. We have a jam-packed show for you here today, as we always do on every single Friday. We have our signature trio segments here inside of Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com's What's Poppin'. MaandPazPopcorn.com, getting you ready for every game, every movie, everything you're going to go out there and watch and do, as well as for birthday parties, anniversaries. It's great for a gift. Go to MaandPazPopcorn.com, pick out your favorite flavors today, kettle corn and popcorn, and order it now. And if you use my promo code at checkout, you can get 20% off. That's DT20, DT20 at MaandPazPopcorn.com. So make sure you do that today. Inside of What's Poppin' from MaandPazPopcorn.com, the annoying moment of the week will start things off in just a minute. Proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. Piggybacking off of that, because they will be connected, and they've been connected in the past, which is a cool thing we get to do here, is a connecting lead into the discussion that we start off in the annoying moment of the week. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Lead will focus today on what to do when things go wrong, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Then we'll get into the top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, which is going to start earlier today. It's going to start for us on at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time instead of 10, as I honor Alex Dodd, good friend of mine that I met here in the media years ago. He started his media career, he started his broadcasting career back in when he was 16 years old, and was at AEC kickoff interviewing Dabo Sweeney of Clemson and whatnot. So I'll have Alex on the show today to honor him as the top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And then from there, he will also preview Clemson at Syracuse with us, as he works for the Clemson Insider. So not only are we honoring Alex, which I'm very, very excited to do with Alex Dodd, and we'll be honoring him, like I said, as the top dog of the week, and he will be previewing the game with us for Clemson at Syracuse, and someone who has covered Clemson for many, many years and is here today with the Clemson Insider to speak with us on the upcoming game. So happy to have him on the show coming up very soon. And then we'll round out today's show, continuing our commissioner connection. As you know, I've been speaking with commissioners, reaching out to commissioners all over the country. Jessica Huntley, joining us from the conference that Marywood University is a part of and a founding member of, and that is the Atlantic East Conference. The Atlantic East Conference's founding commissioner will be joining us here in just a little while at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time to speak on all of the things going on in the Atlantic East, as well as the challenges of being a commissioner in today's athletic world. So, very excited to have Jessica on the show in just a little bit here where sports meets life. So with all that being said, let's hop into the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like, and it is here for you this morning as I get to unveil to you my annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so. The annoying moment of the week for this week, folks, is right here for you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. My annoying moment of the week is when things go wrong and it just seems like maybe something's not working and it's frustrating, but then something else doesn't work and then something else doesn't work, and then you feel like nothing's working and you get that frustration, right, of why can't anything work? Why is this stuff going on? What's happening? And you feel like things are, you feel like it's falling apart, you know? And I think that for me, I know for me this week, it was like, okay, one computer's having trouble, then another computer's having trouble, and then it was my screen door in my home. So my screen door, if you remember a couple weeks ago, my annoying moment of the week had to do with spiders. And this giant, massive spider whose name tag I could read crystal clear. And again, his name was Steve, for those of you wondering. I had to get rid of this spider because it was huge, it was gross. And so I had to get rid of it. So I'm trying to get it off my screen, so I'm shaking my screen back and forth. Well, I pulled the screen off of its track, I guess. And when I pulled it off of its track, I've been opening and shutting it, but it's been kind of difficult. Well, yesterday at night, in the middle of the night, like past midnight, it decided to fall off. And then I tried to put it back on, and it fell off. And I tried to put it back on, and it fell off. And I tried to put it back on, and it fell off. And you could get the drift of what the next, 10 or 15 minutes of my life was. So I have to fix my screen. So I was getting frustrated because the internet was giving trouble, which, you know that the company here, and I won't say their name on the show because they're not a sponsor, and nor am I very fond of them, Rectum. So Rectum has created a lot of unnecessary issues, I think, in the internet. I don't know what the heck they're doing with the internet, but their service goes down and their price goes up, which I find completely ridiculous, disrespectful, and wrong. And so the internet was having trouble, then my computer was slowing down, then my other computer was having trouble connecting, and then the screen fell off. So those are my annoying moments of the week, when they were things where I'm sitting here going, I didn't do anything to this computer, I didn't do anything to this computer, I didn't do anything to the internet. My back door, I guess I have to take the blame for that because I was pulling it back and forth on its tread, but I wasn't trying to obviously pull it off its track. And so it's frustrating. It's very frustrating to have to deal with that stuff. And when things happen kind of, in succession, you start to get really like, okay, and you have to pull yourself out of this thought. And that's the thought is like, why is everything bad happening to me? It's not everything bad, okay? It's the tread on a screen door. And it's computers running slower. It's the internet being the internet these days. Unfortunately, Rectum and other companies out there that bring us the internet don't necessarily, and I can't speak for all of them because I don't know all of them, but, some of them, they just can't seem to hold on certain things, which I don't get, especially if you're the only one using your Wi-Fi. It just seems ridiculous that you can't get one thing going. And, listen, I run a lot on my computers. I broadcast, I edit, so I ask my computers a lot. But they should be able to the internet of today should be able to handle my computers. I'm not NASA. I'm not trying to launch a spaceship into, the atmosphere to go to Mars or anything like that. So I just get confused as to why my computers kind of bug out sometimes. And not only that, but the fact that the internet gets squirrely and, that the back door decided to pop off. So it is frustrating. And I caught myself yesterday saying, you know what? My life is not bad. I do what I love, and I love what I do. I'm surrounded by people that love me. I have a God that loves me. I have fantastic, so many things every day to be thankful for, fantastic blessings from God. So I have nothing to complain about. And so, but it's a reminder. And maybe those things happen to be a reminder. Maybe those things happen to serve as a way for God to check in and say, hey, do you still appreciate your life? How everything runs smoothly for like 800 days, but now maybe there's a little bit of adversity. Maybe you got to work something out a little bit differently. Maybe you got to move something over. I think with some of my stuff, it's also God saying, okay, this hasn't worked for X amount of days. It's not worked properly more than it's worked properly. So what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? The definition of insanity, are you just going to keep getting frustrated every single day with the same problem instead of addressing the problem and attempting to fix the problem? So that makes a lot of sense. And it means a lot to kind of humble yourself and take a step back and say to yourself, I'm trying to deal with this computer that's super frustrating, but is there something better that I can do? Can I work on this? Can I try to run this? Can I delete this? Can I move this over? Is this the thing that maybe is affecting this? So, I think it's important to take the time and understand, okay, if I've had these frustrations the better part of this year, then what am I going to do to address them and fix them? Because waking up every day when you expect something to consistently, it's gone wrong so many times that it becomes the norm that you're like, this is going to run slow, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to fit, this isn't going to do this. Work on those solutions, or you need to maybe consider the fact that this is a problem that maybe isn't going to be solved the way that you want it to, and you're going to have to do something else, something different. So, I think it all comes down to you got to put the work in, and you have to address issues, and then you have to move forward. I think that really, really how to break it down. Okay, this computer's not doing what it needs to do. Let me change this. Let me fix this. Let me fix this. Let me fix this. Okay, now it's still not working. What am I going to do? I'll try to fix this. I'll try to fix that. I'll try to fix this. Well, it's still not working. Do I get a new computer? So, I think just, every day going, why is it doing this? Why is it doing this? Why is it doing this? Try to discover it, and because I don't like waking up in the morning having the same frustrations, right? I had a chair that was uncomfortable, and I sat in it, and my back would hurt, my back would hurt, my back would hurt, and after a year, I'm going, why am I sitting in this chair? If this chair isn't comfortable, and I got to sit in my studio and do my show, I need to get a new chair. And maybe I don't want to buy a new chair, but do I want to have back pain every day? No. Do I want to hunch over? No. Okay. So then we have to address it. So I think, my annoying moment of the week is a bunch of things going wrong, but my annoying moment of the week back to myself is, why add to the annoying moment by not addressing the problems and not fixing the problems? If there's something that's bothering me or something that's not working, I need to fix it instead of just continuously talking about how much it annoys me. Yeah, it annoys me when my computer runs slow. Yeah, it annoys me because I do a lot of work on my computer. My company's on the internet. There's a lot of things that I use the internet all day long, every day. So if my computer isn't being sufficient, or the software isn't sufficient, or something is just not working the way that I need it to work, then I need to say, do I have crazy expectations? And if that answer is no, it's like, okay, so my expectations aren't too lofty. It should be able to handle this. So let's see if it'll handle it. And then if it doesn't handle it, well, then we have to move on. So I think that's what it comes down to, is you really just have to look at your annoying moments and then address how you're going to make them better. What are you going to do to alleviate the problem, alleviate your stress, alleviate your annoyance? Because right now it's super annoying. So what are you going to do to fix it? How are you going to make it better? I think it really comes down to that and addressing that. And another thing that I would say is the annoying moment of the week is you don't have to deal with drama. And you don't have to deal with people being negative. And you don't have to deal with people disrespecting you. You know what I mean? You don't... Deal with is never a term that I enjoy. Because deal with, it's almost saying like... yeah, you can't change what another person's going to say or do. But dealing with it is to me, it's like accepting it. It's like accepting the behavior, which I don't. I don't accept that behavior. I don't accept people hanging up on me. I don't accept people disrespecting me. I don't accept people disrespecting people that I care about. I don't accept that. That's not positive behavior. It's not fruitful behavior. And I watched an episode of Oprah a long time ago, and there was a woman on there. And she was talking to Oprah, and she had hung up on her father. She got in a fight with him, and she hung up on him, and the last thing she said was, "I hate you," or whatever. And she hung up on her dad. Her dad died that night. The last thing she did was hang up on him. So I was brought up with the notion of don't ever hang up on somebody and leave it, because you don't know. You don't know. And so when somebody hangs up on me, I don't call you back. And sometimes I try to, but I feel like it's disrespectful to me. I don't call you back. You call me when you're done being a child. And I can't address that enough that I don't deal with that. I don't deal with that. I don't accept it. I'm not okay with it. No. It's not a part of my life. I very rarely will hang up on somebody because I don't want to be a hypocrite. In my world, I know how much it hurts me. So if and when I do, which I don't do that anymore, really. And I hung up. I was talking to my lady, and I hung up because I think she was asleep. She texted me. She's like, "Why'd you hang up?" I was like, "We weren't talking." So it was, it was at night. I thought she was asleep. So, but I could have been better in that situation because I didn't really handle myself as well as I could. But see, that's the thing, is I check myself. I check myself. And I call back or I text back. I don't want to stay angry. I don't want to stay mad. It's not okay to hang up on somebody. It diminishes them as a person. It diminishes what they stand for. It diminishes who they are in your life. It just disrespects them. It doesn't take away, who you are to God, because nobody can take that away, and it doesn't take you who you are to yourself, because nobody can take that away but you. But it diminishes. It almost makes somebody. It almost is like telling someone you're not worthy. You don't deserve to speak, and that's disgusting. And there's no place for it. I don't care if it comes from a parent, a significant other, a kid, a friend, it's a stranger. I don't like hanging up when I get a teleprompter call, or teleprompter, when I get a, wow, I said a teleprompter. When I get, when you get those spam calls. So, I would say another annoying moment of the week of me, one of my biggest pet peeves is people that hang up, and that totally disrespect you, and that hang up after maybe saying something mean and don't apologize for that. So they don't apologize for what they do, and they hang up on you. They do both, which is like a smack hit. Boom, boom, tap, tap. You know, and I don't appreciate either one of those things. So if you've hung up on somebody recently that you care about, you need to correct that. And if you didn't apologize for something, if you insinuated something, if you disrespected them in any way, you need to apologize. Stop trying to live in this world where you do no wrong, and stop trying to live in this world where you think you're perfect, and stop trying to live in this world where you think it's okay to hurt people because you're a hurt person. So, you know, I definitely am against hanging up on anybody. I am. And I think it's wrong. I think it's mean. I think it's lethal to your relationships with those people. And I think it really hurts people more than you know. So, knock it off. That's it. Just stop doing it. You know, the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Don't be hanging up on people. And hopefully, you know, your computers and your screen doors and everything is working okay. But if they're not, then you have to find a solution. And trying to jam it back in makes it worse, as I know. And not only that, but you have to find the solution. If something's not working, if your computer's giving you the same trouble all day long or every single day or every other day, you got to do something about it. It's as simple as that. You got to do something about it. You know, yes, it's annoying, but it's more annoying for you to continue to put yourselves through that strife when you could be addressing it and seeking to fix it. So, with that being said, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, that's been the annoying moment of the week. The best thing about the annoying moment of the week is that after we get to talk about it, release it, give you some comedy, hopefully help you know that you're not the only person out there that may be frustrated or upset about something, and you know that we all go through things and that we're together on this and that we're one community under God, you know, is the fact that you can go to Carvel like I did yesterday and you can get something nice for yourself. And you can enjoy that, you know, every single day of the week. They're open every season. They're open in the winter. That Carvel flavor doesn't change. It doesn't go away no matter how warm, cold, or in between it is. Carvel DeWitt is always there for you. The longest standing Carvel franchise in America. 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like, and it is available to you today. So make sure you head out to Carvel DeWitt and try the Orange Dream. The Orange Dream, definitely have to get that. It's my spin on what an orange creamsicle would be like as a shake or as a sundae. And you can get that exclusively at Carvel DeWitt, where you can truly make memories with your family, laugh, and have a good time. So no matter how annoying your day is, what's frustrated you, understand that you can always take a break for yourself and head out to Carvel DeWitt with people that you love, or you can just head out by yourself. Get a nice sundae, get a shake, get something for yourself, get one of their Halloween spooktacular specials, and make a memory, a positive memory. Your computer's going crazy and your screen door fell off and there's a giant spider outside. Well, Carvel DeWitt's flavor is always going to be the same. So that's one thing I can tell you. No matter how crazy the day gets, Carvel is always there for you on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. And sometimes it's a Sunday, it's a song, it's a walk, it's a picking up your dog, it's a calling your mom. It's a lot of different things, but little things that are little treats for yourself. So treat yourself today at Carvel DeWitt. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back with plenty more right after this, including Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. I appreciate you being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Cafe Cabal studios. You're also watching on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt and facebook.com/livenowdt and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt as well. So however you're tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Definitely appreciate you very much so, and thank you for being here with us every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It's time for us to jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver, and always excited to be able to do this with you. So welcoming you in here to Lead, where we have the opportunity to speak on many different topics, and today's topic is a very special one to me. Today's topic is what to do when things go wrong. So we talked about things going wrong inside of the annoying moment of the week, and now it's, well, what do you do when those things happen? What do you do when things go wrong? What do you do when life isn't easy? How do you respond? Do you punch a wall? Do you scream? Do you yell? Do you hit things? Do you disrespect people? Do you hang up on people? Do you curse God? What do you do when things go wrong? What do you do? It's a big question. You know, and sometimes that answer is evolving, right? Well, Dan, I used to do this, and now I do this. Good. And sometimes it's devolving. Dan, I used to do this, and now I'm doing these other things that aren't that healthy. So, what do you do when things go wrong? How do you address it? It's very important how you answer that question. And I think that for me, you know, have I been perfect at it? No. Do I always react right when things go wrong? No. But have I gotten better? Absolutely. Like I said, do I hang up that much? Nope. Do I curse out God? Nope. Do I think God hates me? Nope. Do I get frustrated? Absolutely. We all do. But how I respond today is different than how I used to respond. I'm slower to anger. And although I get frustrated and although I get annoyed when certain things go wrong, like my computer running slow or my other computer struggling with the internet or the screen door coming off, do things get upsetting? Yeah. Does everybody treat me the way that I want to be treated? No. So what do you do? How do you address it? How do you handle it? What do you do? And I think what it comes down to is trying to take a step back and I pray. You know, that's my first knee-jerk reaction is to pray, to talk to God and say, listen, this is bothering me, right? I don't know why this computer's doing this. I don't know why this back door won't fit back in right. I don't know why this paint chipped off of here. I don't know why this thing on my deck is this way, you know. But there's solutions. And we live in a world that's so technologically advanced that if there is a solution to something, which to many things there are, it's on the internet, right? You can reach out and check it, you know. This wasn't working, what do I do? And somebody else had the same problem and they addressed it and they shared it. So I think we can always seek to get better and we can always seek to improve on our lives by simply checking in, looking things up, you know, and not overcomplicating things for ourselves. We focus so much on what is wrong instead of how we're going to address it and how we're going to look to find a solution for the problem. You know, and God is my solution to every problem. You know, God, what do I do? Help me to focus. I get upset. I get angry. I get confused. I get annoyed. I get tired. But it's, what am I going to do from here? How am I going to address it from here? And I think that's an important thing to remember as a human being is when things go wrong, do you want somebody who's freaking out, yelling, swearing, and letting it get under their skin? Or do you want somebody who's calm, cool, and collected working on it? And that doesn't mean you're going to be calm, cool, and collected the whole time. And that doesn't mean that you're going to never be stressed out. It doesn't mean that you're never going to have a moment where you're just annoyed to no end. It means that you can get more done calmly than you can frantically. Right? If you're calm and you're packing, did I remember this? Did I remember this? Okay. But if, I gotta, you know, and running back and forth, you're going to forget something. You're going to forget something. If your life is a pile of wrinkled clothes on top of each other, it takes you longer to find what you're looking for. Right? So consider life like that. Consider your life that if you're frantic and you're constantly stressed and you're worried and you're freaking out and you're letting outside things bother you and you're letting people bother you and things out of your control bother you, or you're not handling things that are in your control, understand that your life is like a pile of wrinkled clothes on top of each other in the middle of the room. It's going to be very hard to find what you're looking for. It's going to be very hard to get dressed. It's going to be very hard to start your day or continue your day. So do you want to be a person who lives in a world of chaos? Or do you want to be a person who understands that the world can be chaotic, but you're not going to let that inside of you? The chaos is going to be there. The tornado is going to be there. You can't stop the tornado from spinning all the time, right? You can't stop the tornado from creating itself because the tornado is its own thing. But what you can do is not let that tornado spin inside of you. What you can do is address the issues you may have and find peace. So that's what I suggest you do, is to look for peace. When things go wrong, take a deep breath. When things go wrong, pray. When things go wrong, after you take that deep breath and after you pray, look for a solution. Because if you say my computer doesn't work and 3 weeks later you're saying the same thing, but you haven't done one thing to try to address the problem, now that you're part of the problem. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution. And be good to yourselves. That coming from Chick-fil-A Cicero inside of Lead. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Chick-fil-A Cicero here with us and Chick-fil-A Clay here with us every single month with Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And in our video series, The Light Between Us, which features Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay team members. And we have had fantastic editions of that. You can check out The Light Between Us on our social media. I'm going to be sharing them all again this weekend, and you can find them on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt by searching The Light Between Us. You can see all of our episodes up to this point, and I appreciate everybody that's been on the show, from Jack to Tyler to Ike, as well as the fact that we have had the opportunity very recently here to feature an incredible woman who's risen through the ranks of Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, and it is my absolute honor and privilege to be able to share all of these stories with you and all of these moments with you. Really means a lot to me to be able to do this. And so to all of the fantastic guests that we've had on The Light Between Us, I want to thank each and every single one of you for being a part of the show. Like I said, Jack, Tyler, Ike, as well as the story that we got to tell here very recently. And like I said, I'll be sharing all of these with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. And that's, some of these beautiful stories that we get to tell include the incredible, all of them include these incredible workers, Julia as well, being a part of this. So from Julia's story to Jack's story to Tyler's story to Ike's story, all of those are available to you in the series The Light Between Us that you'll only find on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. And for my teammate and co-host, Juanita Ward, she's not with us today after she had a passing in her family. So I ask you to say a prayer, and I ask you to keep Juanita and her loved ones in your heart. And God bless to each and every single one of them. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we will have our top dog of the week, Alex Dodd, joining us right after this. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, where sports meets that thing called life. That's where you're listening. You're watching on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as on facebook.com/livenowdt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. So however you're connecting with the show, we thank you so much for tuning in every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And we got to bring this gentleman in the right way as we do the top dog of the week. And so I always ask for Lily for a little bit of help here, my pup. Top dog of the week going to, and this past week it went out to Mr. Danny Tome, who you're seeing up here on the screen. And I was with Danny last night doing a special event at the Wildcat. And this time around here, it's going to Mr. Alex Dodd is our top dog of the week, and I appreciate the fact that he is here with us this morning. He's the top dog of the week for the fact that, you know, when I met him, he was 16 years old. Now, I started my broadcasting career at 17, 18, right around there. He started his career even younger, at the age of 16 years old, came out and was there at the ACC kickoff interviewing Dabo Sweeney, and was somebody that I looked at him and I thought to myself, wow, there's somebody else out there that doesn't care what people think, isn't following the rules of when are you allowed to start your career, when are you allowed to go out there, just demanding, not even caring about respect or anything like that, but doing something that he loves. And, going out and saying, instead of watching somebody else ask the question, I'm going to ask the questions. I want to see what they say to the things that I want to know about. I'm going to put myself out there. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to advance. I want to build a road for myself. And seeing him do that was so inspiring to me, to see that there's somebody out there of like mind that can appreciate and honor and truly go after their dreams and pave their own way. Be the precedent instead of looking for one. I think so many people are looking for leadership, looking for a precedent, looking for somebody to tell them it's okay, where Alex went out there and determined what was okay for him, what he wanted, what he felt was right. And him chasing his dreams, him following what he truly wanted in life and doing it his own way has been so inspirational to me over the years that it's only right for me to bring him onto the show to honor him as the top dog of the week. And I very easily could have said, yeah, come on, we'll talk Clemson, Syracuse, we'll do this, that, and the other, and to do this segment before or after he came on. But I thought, why do anything other than make him the top dog of the week and make this segment lead into Clemson at Syracuse, because of the fact of the positive effect I think he's definitely had on others' lives. I know he's had on mine. And the type of human being that he is, a faith-filled guy, someone who believes in God, someone who cares about community, and one of the few people in the media that really shows who they are and their personality and is unafraid to see how you're doing, shake your hand and give you a hug and have it be an honest one. So with that being stated, I don't think it's welcomed or spoken about enough, the good people in the media, and that's why he's my top dog of the week, because he chases his dreams, he's a good man, and he's done right by me. So with that being said, Mr. Dodd is on the show. Alex, how we doing?
DT, it's always good to be on with you, man. And like I was saying last night, I like going on with you because you're one of the good guys, man. There aren't like you said, a lot of people don't in this job don't like to let people know too much about who they are, and you're one of those people who's not afraid to back down from who you are. You're unapologetically yourself, and like I said, you're one of the good guys. So it's good to be on with you, man.
Well, no, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that there was a time in my life where I thought, am I the only one doing this way? And then I met you, and I'll never forget, you came up to me at one of the ACC events, and we were getting dinner, and you said to me, you're like, hey, it's like, you just walked up, we were in the line, and you're like, hey, DT, how you doing? I just wanted to tell you that, you inspire me, and I appreciate, what you're doing out there and asking all your questions and this and that. And it was the first time that I really felt like somebody had reached out in that way to me in the media. And I want you to know that it's had a lasting effect on my life, that, what I'm trying to do, you always wonder, does somebody pick up what you put down? And you showed me that day that, there are good people in the media. So I just want to thank you for that.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
That coming from Alex Dodd, Clemson Insider. This has been an interesting year for Clemson. They're 3-2 as they come into the Dome. Almost 4 years to the date that Syracuse took down Clemson inside of the Dome, and that in the Dino Babers era, that happened when Clemson was number 2 ranked in the country and a reigning national champion. This year, they're not ranked in the AP Top 25. They are barely inside of the coaches poll at 25, and their thought of a college football playoff invitation to many people is over. How are you handling this season as someone who's covered Clemson for so long, knowing that there's all of this talk about love for Clemson, and now I feel like they're on the back burner and they kicked them right to the side. In the polls, they kicked them to the side nationally. How are you looking at a world that was so all up in Dabo's business and now they've kind of backed off?
Yeah, it's really interesting, and we've talked about it at the Clemson Insider and with other people on the Clemson beat, especially, I'd say some during this bye week and during the week leading up to this game. It's really interesting to see, like you said, the way that I guess people kind of kick Clemson to the curb. It's not like Clemson, has 2 horrible losses or anything like that. They haven't looked great offensively in any game yet this year. But on the other hand, you lost to who everybody thinks right now is the number 1 team in the nation in Georgia in a close game that really could have went either way. That was decided by a pick 6. And then, You lost a close game on the road against a good NC State team, and then for some reason, like you said, all of a sudden everybody's kicking Clemson to the curb, and they're all the way out of the polls. At the same time, this is a team that has a lot of room to grow and a lot of room to improve. Certainly, they haven't met expectations. Now, is that an indictment on this team, or is that an indictment on the expectations? I don't know. I think a lot of that is still to be determined. But I think you've got one of the best defenses in the nation on this team. Not a lot of people could argue with that, and they've done what they've needed to do so far offensively to be at 3-2 with the hiccup at NC State, and then obviously the neutral site loss to Georgia. But it's been a really weird year to cover Clemson. It's kind of nice, I guess, in one respect from the perspective of the job, is you don't have all these national writers and reporters at every press conference. You get to ask the questions that you feel like need to be answered instead of having national reporters there doing their thing. So that's I guess, one positive side of the job when the team's not doing as well. But it's weird, too, because every year as members of the media that cover Clemson, I feel like our year recently especially has kind of revolved around what are we going to do at the end of the year? Like, we got to start planning, where we're going to stay in the playoff and, making contingency plans for which game you're going to be. And now Clemson's in a predicament that it hasn't been in 6 years, almost 7 years, where you're going to have to go play in a different bowl game and see what that looks like. So, and obviously there's a long road ahead and a lot of season to be played before we even get to that point.
Yeah, and I guess, you brought up, obviously, some of the games that we've seen on the way to where Clemson is right now. How much of this is that the offense just isn't firing? And how do you view the team? I mean, the Georgia game was so close, and it was a defensive-laden game. We look at, the Georgia Tech game was another close game of 14-8. We look at the Boston College game. I mean, low-scoring games, averaging 21.2 points a game. And how much of this is offensive issues to you? How much of it is strong defense? I mean, is the defense as good as it may look on paper? And is the offense as bad as it may look on paper?
Well, to some degree. I think that they're dealing with injuries as well. Mario Goodrich, one of the corners in the Clemson secondary, is injured right now. Both defensive tackles are out for the season, likely, and Tyler Davis and Brian Bresee. Brian Bresee with a knee injury, and Tyler Davis with a torn bicep that he had to have surgery on. So to have those two guys from the interior out last week against a good Boston College team, I know they don't have Phil Jerkovich at quarterback anymore, but still, to hold anybody to as few points as they've been able to hold everybody to this point in the season is incredibly impressive, especially when you look at the way the offense has been floundering, because the defense is on the field for so long, it feels like, in every game. I mean, at NC State, that was the difference in the game, is NC State was on the field for 3/4 of the game almost, while the Clemson defense just had to hold their own, and they did. They were able to force overtime, and Clemson had a chance in that game. I do think offensively, people have started to see. I've started to see maybe some flashes of what Clemson could be offensively against Boston College. Obviously, they weren't able to score the ball, to score touchdowns, but they were able to put themselves in field goal range a few times. They were able to move the ball. They were able to set the pace running the football, which was impressive because they've really had issues running the football, and part of that also maybe due to injuries. Starting running back Will Shipley, the freshman who was sensational in his first start at NC State, is out likely for the year as well. So for Clemson to be able to run the ball as well as they did against Boston College should be reassuring, I guess, to many Clemson fans. But Clemson fans like seeing good offense, and they've become accustomed to seeing good offense in the last decade, really starting with Taj Boyd when he was a quarterback at Clemson, and then Deshaun Watson. Everybody knows what he did after that, and then obviously Trevor Lawrence, and the way that Clemson's offense has been explosive, and that's been the brand. Clemson's defense, since Brent Venables got there, has always been one of the best in the nation, but they've always been overshadowed by explosive offense. And this year is a much different story. If it wasn't for the way that Clemson's defense has been able to play, we may be having an even different conversation right now because Clemson's defense has won them really two of those 3 games. One of the wins against the FCS opponent in South Carolina State. But Clemson's defense has been what's been able to get it done so far, and they're going to be a big part of the game if Clemson wants to have success in the Carrier Dome tonight.
Yeah, and defensively having that strength. I mean, I've seen this. I saw it last season with Syracuse. The defense was there and there and there and there and there, and the offense just couldn't score the ball. How frustrating is it for you to have been so spoiled with Taj Boyd and Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence and so on and so forth, and then to see, and not that DJ can't play, but to see how explosive that offense is? How strange is it through your looking glass, having covered the team for so many years, Alex, that you're seeing a team where the defense is setting them up and the offense isn't knocking it down? Because I got to tell you, brother, welcome to the party. I've seen that a lot at Syracuse.
Yeah, I guess it is definitely frustrating from a Clemson perspective because there's so much talent on Clemson's offense. It's not like they're remarkably less talented. Now, obviously, when you lose a starting quarterback and a starting running back in the first round of the NFL draft, with obviously Lawrence being the number 1 pick and then Etienne going late in the first round, that's going to make a difference. And the other thing people aren't talking about is some pieces that Clemson lost, some experience Clemson lost on the offensive line, and maybe the way that even Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne were able to make up for some of the deficiencies on the offensive line last year. You lost a third-round pick in Jackson Carman to the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's made a difference on the offensive line. Now, Clemson's offensive line against Boston College, that was where I saw most of the improvement from Clemson against the Eagles, is that Clemson was able to get some push on the offensive line, and I think a lot of that has to do with having people playing positions where they're more comfortable. They moved Hunter Rayburn to center. He's, I guess, would be considered a first-year starter at center, and then they moved Matt Bockhorst to right guard, who was playing center before, and they moved some pieces around. There's some youth and some inexperience on that offensive line, but they really simplified things against Boston College and focused on just moving forward, taking away a lot of those zone blocking schemes, some of the more complicated scheme things that Clemson's gotten used to doing on the offensive line, and just focusing on moving forward, and simple pass protection was a big help for Clemson last week against Boston College. And that's going to be a key for them in the Dome as well, is just being able to move forward. It's not like you have to get 8 yards on first down, but getting 4 yards on first down versus a gain of 1 or 2 makes a huge difference when you're facing third down. And that's where a lot of Clemson's issues have come, has been on third down. You don't have a true third down threat necessarily on offense like Clemson's had in the last few years. I mean, last year you had Amari Rodgers in the slot, who was a big threat on third down. You also had Travis Etienne, who could come out of the backfield and in some passing situations and make things happen on third down. Before that, you had Hunter Renfrow. Everybody knows what Hunter Renfrow is on third down and what he was for Clemson. And Clemson really doesn't have that true third down threat right now. They have some dynamic players. They have Justin Ross playing in the slot. They have some wide receivers who have big-time playmaking ability but haven't been able to capitalize. They've missed a lot of opportunities on third down. I think that's probably the thing that's the most frustrating for Clemson fans, to see the talent, to know what's there, to see what you saw from DJ and these guys last year, DJ in those 2 games last year, and then to not see him be able to get it done in those crucial situations, in the red zone, on third down, those situations where you're used to Clemson making plays. That's where they haven't been able to make plays. And I still think at some point Clemson's offense is going to have a watershed-type moment. I think they're too talented to be in this predicament for the whole season. I mean, but who knows? It's college football. Anything can happen. I've seen teams with a lot of talent, with teams with this much talent, be stagnant on offense for entire seasons and disappoint. So who knows?
Yeah, here with Alex Dodd of the ClemsonInsider.com. What is your biggest concern of Clemson playing Syracuse? What do you think Syracuse does well enough to be on your radar right now? What are your concerns?
Clemson's biggest strength, I think, on defense so far this year has been being able to stop the run. And with the kind of the two-headed beast that Syracuse has with Schrader and then obviously with Sean Tucker is worrisome if the offense can't stay on the field. So if Clemson's offense can't stay on the field and have long, extended drives, they don't need to have 5 or 6 minute or 7 minute drives. They just need to have drives where they go down the field and score. If Clemson does that, that puts the defense in a lot better position. But if you're looking at towards the second half, I mean, I was really impressed with Syracuse last week against Wake Forest. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the fact that I think a lot of people, the ACC obviously hasn't been very good in recent years. They weren't very good in the non-conference this year. But I was impressed with Syracuse last week in the way that they were able to run the football. I was impressed with Schrader's ability to make decisions at quarterback. And I think if Clemson's defense is on the field all game, just because of the injuries and how being on the field for 40 minutes can wear down the defense, if Syracuse is able to be on the field that long, that would be my biggest concern, is that at some point teams are going to be able to score the ball. You saw it at NC State. It wasn't like NC State was prolific on offense when Clemson played there, but they were able to extend drives, to take advantage of a penalty here or there, and to take advantage of Clemson's really ineptness on offense, and were able to just extend the game. So I think that would be the biggest concern, is that Syracuse is able to extend the game and put Clemson in that kind of position like they were at NC State.
Yeah, they talked about orange is the new fast, and I said they need to go back to ground and pound. And I've been asking in the entire Dino era to run the ball, because you're not going to be faster than Clemson. You're not going to be faster than Florida State. You're not going to – I mean, that's or Miami. It's not going to happen. So, orange is the new fast was something that I'm against because watching it doesn't work. But the ground and pound and know your identity and, play strong defense, run the ball. Play strong defense, run the ball again. It shows what they've been able to do with it and how effective they are with a running quarterback in Garrett Schrader, who had almost 600 yards when he was playing for Mississippi State in a season and was averaging over 5 yards. I think it was 5.6 yards per carry. So doing that with Sean Tucker, a lot that comes to the table. Do you believe in DJ Uiagalelei? Do you believe that this is the future of leadership in Clemson? How are you seeing DJ right now?
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation to talk about DJ, because I think Clemson, it's easy to look at an offense that's not taking advantage of opportunities and to pin everything on a quarterback. It's the nature of the position. It is the most important position on the offense, but I think there's something else going on. I think it has more to do with what's between the ears, what's going on between the ears than it does with his physical skill set. Because everybody knows that DJ Uiagalelei is talented, that he is a good quarterback, but just the lack of confidence that he's displayed this season really date back to that Georgia game when he got sacked and was on the ground a lot and threw the big interception. It seemed like his confidence took a big blow, and he has yet to fully recover. Now, there have been flashes. There have been drives where Clemson's offense goes out and scores in 6 plays in a minute and 42 seconds, and it looks like you have to take a double take. You're like, what in the world is this? Why doesn't this happen more often? I think DJ's certainly talented enough to do it. I think some of it may be schematic, which has to do with not being able to do the easy stuff. Clemson hasn't been able to do the easy stuff. They haven't been able to pick up 4 yards on first down a lot this season. So you have a lot of third and longs. You're not able to open up the playbook because you can't complete the short stuff. There have been some issues with DJ when it comes to touch, just throwing the ball too hard. Everybody knows the arm talent that he has and how he's able to sling the ball downfield. But if you're not completing the short passes, there's no reason for a defense to be honest. There's no reason for a defense to play you in cover zero, which this year a lot of teams. I mean, you saw Georgia Tech kind of set the model for how to defend Clemson. Georgia Tech ran was called a double cloud. They rushed 3 guys, and they dropped everybody back into coverage. They had 8 men in coverage against Clemson and really dared Clemson to run the football, and they couldn't do it against the Yellow Jackets, and they couldn't complete the short passes. And from then on, a lot of teams have done that. I saw NC State do it. Clemson had success on that second drive of the game where they go down and score a touchdown because NC State was playing them true. And then after that, in the second and third quarter, Clemson had, you could count the yards that Clemson had on your 2 hands in the second and third quarter of that game because they dropped back into coverage and dared Clemson to run the ball. So I think DJ's talented enough to do it, to answer your question. Whether or not he's able to, I guess, get out of his own way and find some of his moxie and some of his confidence is a different story. But I don't think it's because of lack of effort or lack of leadership on his part. I think that he's doing those things pretty well. After the Boston College game, DJ went straight back onto the field after he changed out of his uniform and out of his pads and was working on corrections with a student assistant. He was going through and going back over throws that he felt like he missed in that Boston College game. I think the bye week could have really benefited Clemson, but a lot of that is to be determined, and we just have to wait and see what Clemson team steps on the field up in Syracuse tonight.
Coming from Alex Dodd of the Clemson Insider. Alex, so much to talk about when it comes to Clemson, and would love to have you back on the show after this game happens to really break down what we saw from Syracuse and Clemson. So would love to definitely have you back as always, and we opened the door to so many different pieces, but I'm happy we got to talk a little bit today, and I appreciate your time and your expertise and all the work that you're doing in general and at the ClemsonInsider.com, so thank you for that.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully in 2 years, I'll be up at the Dome and we can do this in person.
Yeah, that would be ideal. So get yourself up here, man, all right? We'll treat you right up here.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, take care. That coming from Alex Dodd once again on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. We'll take a quick step aside for a fast break after honoring our top dog of the week, Mr. Alex Dodd, for chasing his dreams and setting precedents in his life. And so appreciate him so very much, and his positive effect he's had on the community and had on my life. We'll be back right after this with Jessica Huntley, the commissioner of the Atlantic East Conference, as I continue my commissioner connection, speaking with commissioners from all over the nation here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, inside the Cafe Kubal studios. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt where you're listening. You're watching on Facebook Live on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as facebook.com/livenowdt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, all from inside the Cafe Kubal studios. You know that what we've been doing here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora this year is called Commissioner Connection, where I've had the opportunity and the blessing and the privilege and the honor of being able to speak with commissioners all across these great 50 states and to get their thoughts on the ever-changing climate of collegiate athletics. And so today, I'm very honored to have Jessica Huntley back on the show, Atlantic East Conference Commissioner, the founding commissioner of the conference, and she is here with us today to speak with us on those topics that are pertinent to any team, any institution all across the country, as well as to go inside of the Atlantic East Conference and to speak on those members and how the Atlantic East is moving forward. So with that being said, I proudly welcome Jessica back to the show. Jessica, how you doing today?
Hey, Dan. I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me back on the show, and thanks for all your work in this space.
Yeah, absolutely. And to start there, with my alma mater being Marywood University, I'd love to get your thoughts on, I know Marywood is a founding member of the Atlantic East, and you're a founding commissioner of this conference. What can you say about founding member Marywood University? Why was it important to have them be a part of this conference, and what do you think their value is to the conference?
Great question. Yeah, they are a founding member, and I think, all of our founding members are very, very similar, which is really a testament to the conference and to the institutions that came together. They all have a focus on athletics and doing well in athletics, but then also academics and the geographic footprint, right? We kind of span from Scranton, now North Jersey, Central Jersey. I know that can be controversial where Staten area is. I've learned that very quickly. It's, I guess, Central Jersey, and all the way down to DC, and that's the Atlantic East, right? So I think they're fit, and just again, the similarities and parity in the Atlantic East are something that most conferences strive for, and so Marywood is a perfect fit, and it all makes sense.
why was it important in this ever-changing world? And we see, and it's talked about so much at the Division I level, is realignment. But realignment happens in Division I, Division II, and Division III. And we can argue that this was a huge realignment with schools leaving conferences they were in to create a new conference. What does that mean to you in the world of realignment and change in collegiate athletics, that you get to be the commissioner and the founding commissioner of a conference that, a bunch of institutions said, hey, we would like to start something different, something new, and that they felt like this was the right avenue to go?
Yeah, it's a true testament to our institutions and to the leaders of those campuses to take a leap of faith. Typically it's done for various reasons, and I don't know that the reasons that they all left and aligned are the same as what others. Obviously in Division I, it's usually about the money, and I'm not sure it was about the money in this situation. It was really about being in alignment with one another, the resources, the mission of the institutions and the conference, and certainly as the first commissioner of this conference, and I love the ability to create something from the ground up. It's been so fun, and they've been so supportive. It's a true testament to the leadership of the group, because it was not easy, and they definitely had to take some knocks along the way. They lost their AQs for the first 2 years, which is, a tough sell. But I think in the end, everyone's been really pleased with the competition and the ability to come together. It's obviously we're still in a pandemic, but we just came through one of the hardest times probably any of us have ever faced. And I think we as a group came together more than what I've heard of other conferences. And again, that's just a testament to the similarities of the institutions. It's been really exciting, and it's been a lot of fun.
Speaking here with the commissioner of the Atlantic East Conference, Jessica Huntley, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Cafe Cubal studios. You mentioned the AQs to join a new conference, losing automatic qualifiers for the first 2 years. After that happens, just a little while later, there's a pandemic. How have you navigated as the commissioner when, these schools obviously knew what they were getting into and knew that they lose their AQs for the first couple of years, but then once those AQs come back, shortly after down the road, there's a pandemic that nobody was ready for. How have you tried to lead through all of this, where your members have had to navigate things before the pandemic, and obviously we've all had to navigate it during the pandemic? You've been in a unique situation when it comes to the postseasons, because they had to wait the first couple of years, and then nobody had seasons, and then if they had a season, they didn't have a postseason. So that coming shortly after, I'm sure, created a lot of strain and I'm sure a lot of sadness with student athletes and coaches that were finally happy to really show the world what the Atlantic East is all about, and then here comes this pandemic around the corner.
Yeah, it certainly has not been easy. It hasn't been easy for anyone, right? And to tell student athletes that we're canceling a season and there will not be a NCAA championship. No, those were not easy decisions, and those were not certainly made alone either. And but I do think our student athletes have been really gracious and understanding. Not always, and I can understand the sadness and frustration. I felt it too. But I think for the most part, everyone came together to understand, listen, we're doing this for the right reasons. None of us have ever lived through a pandemic before, so there's no playbook, right? There's no playbook on how to approach this and how to safely go back to playing sports. And so we all were trying to get through it together. And I think, we all tried to remember that, right? We're trying to be safe. And I think that's what we had to remind people of. We're not high school sports. Our campuses live in a community. So we had to treat things differently than what others were. And there definitely came with some backlash. But again, I think for the most part, everyone came together and understood that we were trying our best. And that's what we continue to say. I continue to stress that. I think my presidents, the ADs continue to stress that. We're all trying to do our best for what, in the moment. We're being thrown different things that we've never been thrown before. And we have to sometimes make decisions based on what information we have at the moment. Maybe there were not always the right decisions, but we're trying to do our best, and that's what I have to remind everyone. And as much honesty, transparency, and grace is kind of a word that I used a lot. Right? We're all trying our best to get through this in the best possible way. So I think our student athletes and our coaches and everyone are very excited to have sports back. And this fall has gone really, really well, thankfully.
What does it take these last 18 months as you look back? How would you define what a good leader truly embodies as you lead this conference as its commissioner? You have, like you mentioned, the ADs and the presidents. Each institution has leadership, but you're the leadership umbrella that oversees all of this leadership. As the figurehead of the Atlantic East Conference and as a person in this country that is one of few, when you add D1, D2, D3 all together, when it comes to who's a commissioner, there's a very short list of people that get to say that at any place, D1, D2, or D3. So in a role that is so unique, in a role that is not held by many, how do you define leadership moving forward?
Great question, Dan. And, I've been thinking about this a little bit. For me, it's continuing to pay attention to what's going on nationally, paying attention to what's going on locally, from higher education in general to the NCAA to just the marketplace. Really just listening, getting as much information, and then navigating through that. So it's not an easy task. And I am often on the phone just kind of talking to my colleagues, talking to people in the profession about what's going on and trying to be prepared, right? It's an ever-changing marketplace right now. And I think if we're not listening and paying attention to what's going on, we're gonna miss out on the bus. We're gonna miss the bus. So for me, it's just continuing to listen and navigate all of the information that's continually coming out, and then presenting it to my constituents. Okay, so this is what's going on: the constitutional review, NIL. Here's my take on it. Here's where I think we should maybe go. And none of this is done in a vacuum. I mean, it's a continuous team effort amongst, again, the ADs, the coaches, the presidents. But I feel like my job as the leader is to kind of be, and I don't know if an expert's a good word, but be knowledgeable of everything that's going on, because everyone is dealing with their own institutional things and team things. So I have to kind of be apprised of what's going on nationally so I can share that information and lead our conference in the right direction.
Speaking here with the commissioner of the Atlantic East Conference, that is Jessica Huntley, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Cafe Kubal studios. You mentioned two things that I definitely think are important to get to today. The Constitution of the NCAA, the constitutional review of what is going to stay, what is going to go, what will this new Constitution look like. NCAA, D1, D2, D3, everyone's involved. What is your thought on the constitutional review? What's wrong with the NCAA? What can be changed? What should be changed? I know that I'm opening a giant box. Some people call it Pandora's. But I know that by asking about, what could we do better with the NCAA, I mean, this is a long-winded answer, I'm sure, but what are you seeing in this constitutional review nationally, and what should we be focusing on, I guess, as we try to define what collegiate athletics are going to be from here forward?
Yeah, Dan, that is potentially a Pandora's box for sure, and I'll try to answer in the best concise way that I can. I'll take it from a small level here. I think from a Division III perspective, I think we're doing things correctly. And I don't think that Division III is going to see, it's not the focus of this constitutional review is not necessarily on Division III. Will there be ripple effects? Of course. And we will have to figure out how we're going to navigate from the constitutional changes. However, I think the focus is right on Division I and the big time football and basketball and the money and the litigation. That's where this comes from. And I don't think that's a secret. It's financially driven and legally driven. The legislators and politicians have gotten involved, and that's caused the NCAA to look at things differently. The money that's being pushed around and coaches and institutions are benefiting. So I really do hope that there's not a ton of change there. But I do think things are not necessarily operating the same way in Division I, and they need to be looked at differently.
Yeah, and I would tend to agree with that, wholeheartedly, that there's been a lot of issues that have gone on, and I said about 4 or 5 years ago, in the next 5 to 10 years, the NCAA will not look like it used to, if it even is here to look that way. And I think it's funny that now we're here at that 5-year mark and they're going through a constitutional review and trying to figure things out. 2 pieces, you said that you feel like NCAA Division III is the most authentic part of it, and probably because there isn't, crazy money that's going all over the place and the haves and the have-nots, and maybe it's a more even playing field. With money as a part of this thing, 2 pieces to this. Should Division III athletes be scholarshiped? I understand resources and whatnot, but with NCAA Division I and Division II, they can offer scholarships. At D3, they cannot, but now name, image, and likeness is there for Division I, II, and III, and so I guess the juxtaposition is the student athletes can now make money with their name, image, and likeness, but they're not getting money like Division I and II. Has there ever been a thought for you as a commissioner to look at the world of Division III and say maybe there should be scholarships at this level?
Tough one there. Honestly, I have not really gone down that road. I haven't thought that way. Again, I don't mind the name, image, and likeness. I think that's fair. Those are their name. That's their name. They should be able to profit off of it. An artist at one of our institutions, and they wanted to sell their art. Sure, they could do that. Or actress or actor. So I certainly believe in all of that. But I don't know if I believe in scholarships for our students. That's a tough one. I haven't really thought about it too much, so might have to get back to you on that.
But on the name, image, and likeness, you said you're all for it. It is their name, it is their image, it is their likeness. They should be able to make money off of that. How do you see this going? Because at the Division I level, in general, with name, image, and likeness, there's a ton of questions, not a lot of answers. At the D1 level, we're already seeing people sign $1 million deals, just hundreds of thousands of dollars switching hands and whatnot. How do you view name, image, and likeness of what do you think it should be, and what do you think maybe it's becoming? Because it doesn't really seem like there's a lot of parameters. There is no national kind of this is what it's supposed to be. There's no template. And with there being no template, is it something that you think is going to take a lot of time to get through? Was it rushed? I mean, it kind of just feels like some states approved it, many states did not, or even maybe look at it right now. And then the NCAA said, hey, you know what, for this year, we're going to do this. We're going to let everybody kind of do what they want to do, regardless of your state. It just seems like a very confusing time where I do agree with you. Name, image, and likeness, you should be able to make money off of what you do and what you bring to the table and your talents and who you are. But how many questions are there and how many answers are there, I guess, at this point?
Lots of questions. very few answers. Yeah, I think a national effort would be really, really helpful for everyone. And there's no expert in this field, right? And that's the real struggle. So we're asking questions, and there's not necessarily one person that knows all the answers. We found some great partners, with Spry. We've been working with them a little bit, and to help us kind of navigate this. In my mind, I want to just be able to educate our students, right? So this is an opportunity for you all. How can we educate them? Educate them around compliance? How can we educate them around the financial literacy of all of this? Because if you're going to make, even if you're only making $1,000 or $2,000, that could potentially impact your scholarship, or, your not scholarships for athletics, but your academic or your financial aid. And talking about taxes and things like that. So for me, it's here. So now how can we help our students and our campuses be educated and compliant? And that's where, I think the partnerships with Spry and other organizations that are out there are really helpful. But yeah, Pennsylvania has a law. Virginia and New Jersey don't currently have one. So it's been an interesting learning experience for everyone. But again, we're about education, right? So this is here, so we should be educating our students in the best way we can, and helping them along during this challenging and interesting course we're all on.
And a final point here is we're here with Jessica Huntley, Atlantic East Conference Commissioner, in our Commissioner Connection series that we have here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Just an overall view of your members, your full members, Cabrini, Centenary, Gwynedd Mercy, Immaculata, Marymount, Marywood, and Newman. And you have added affiliate members in certain sports with William Patterson, Cedar Crest, Gallaudet University, New Jersey City University, and St. Mary's College in Maryland. When I say these names to you of these colleges and universities, how would you define what the Atlantic East is? And wait for it, because I'm going to throw this at you. Since we live in a world of realignment, are you always looking to potentially grow? Could there be more on the horizon for the Atlantic East?
Yes, all of those things. So the Atlantic East, certainly, as I mentioned in the beginning, the core members, 7 of them, span the Atlantic East seaboard, and that's always been our intent. Private institutions that all are religiously based and have similar philosophies and missions. And then we have our affiliate members, and it's been a really fascinating experience working with all of them. And they don't necessarily fit our private institution mold, but I think they still follow the Division III philosophy and certainly fit within our geographic footprint, and they've been great partners for us for various reasons, right? There's been a need for certain institutions to join for AQ purposes, so we help them, they help us. And then some of our other sports like swimming, we don't have a lot of schools that offer swimming, so having some affiliates really help our championship experience, and it's been really fun, to be honest with you, to have these different organizations or different institutions part of the Atlantic East for those certain sports. And then in terms of growth, yes. 7 is not necessarily where we want to be forever, but we've since our inception, we've been very particular about what institutions we want. Again, our schools are so similar, and we want to, and that makes decision making, that makes our mission or our vision very similar and very easy, because everyone is kind of headed in the same direction and dealing with the same kind of situations and issues. So I think we've been authentic in trying to stay true to the reason why this conference came together. So yeah, I think we are continually looking to grow and expand, but we are very diligent about what institutions we want to be a part. They need to fit our mission and our values.
Coming from the commissioner of the Atlantic East Conference, Jessica Huntley. Jessica, as always, I appreciate your time, and I know we definitely opened a lot of doors to conversations we can have down the road. So I would love to keep that open line of communication and have you back. But I do want to, above all things, tell you thank you for your leadership. Thank you for sticking with this conference through these last 18 months especially, and for everything you're doing. And if you don't hear it enough, I appreciate the work that you've put forward. I appreciate you looking after these colleges and universities, and I know it's a tall task that's only gotten taller, so I want to give you my gratitude and appreciation for the work that you put in every single day.
Well, Dan, I really, really appreciate you saying that. It's been a challenging 18 months, but it's been a challenging 18 months for everyone. And certainly we appreciate all the work you're doing on behalf of all of our student athletes and our institutions and being a supporter of the Atlantic East. So I appreciate you having me on today, and happy to come back and maybe open up more Pandora's boxes in the future.
Sounds good. Well, listen, take care of yourself. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk with you soon.
Okay, take care.
Take care. That coming from Jessica Huntley here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. Very excited to be here with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and very excited to have this commissioner connection that we've been able to bring to you. There's so many commissioners that have been on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora around the country, and you can check them out. I'm going to be sharing them as well over the weekend, and I'm probably going to be putting a page on the website for Commissioner Connection, because I want people to be able to get to these very easily here, and because it means a lot to me to be able to share what the leaders around the country in collegiate athletics are thinking, and to let them share their vision and how things are ever changing, ever growing, ever moving, that we can discuss different things together. So Northeast Conference Commissioner Noreen Morris has been on the show. She is available on our channels. You can check her out, and as well as many others here in our archives, Stitcher, Spotify, MixLR, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Podbean. And Podbean has over 1,500 episodes for us. It's like the main hub of everything that I have with Wake Up Call. And so if you go to wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, that's PODBEAN.com. You can also just go to wakeupcalldt.com, click on the Podbean logo, and it'll take you here to wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. You'll be able to type into the search bar Commissioner, and that'll bring up Northeast Conference Commissioner Noreen Morris. It'll bring up Patriot League Commissioner Jennifer Heppel. It'll also bring up the Big South Conference Commissioner Kyle Colander, the Atlantic Suns Commissioner Ted Gumbart, the Big West Commissioner Dan Butterly, the Summit League Commissioner Tom Duppel, as well as the SoCon Commissioner Jim Schaus, the Southland Commissioner Tom Burnett, all going to be here for you. And we also have the Ivy League that's here as well, and in other pieces that we're going to be adding to it. And of course, Jessica will be added to the fray of all of this. The Leadership Lounge, you'll be able to find Executive Director Robin Harris of the Ivy League. So she is there for you as well. So make sure you check all of these out on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, and I'll be sure to share them on our social media as well so that you don't miss out on it. But the newest edition of it just joining the show, and that being Jessica Huntley, the Commissioner of the Atlantic East Conference of Division III. And I appreciate Jessica for her time, as always, and I look forward to talking with her very soon as they oversee their 7 member schools and their affiliate members, and one of those member schools and founding members being Marywood University. We'll be back right after this as I have the opportunity to honor not only institutions but people that I care about so very much and send my love to. You'll hear all of that right after this fast break inside the Cafe Kubal Studios on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life.
Cafe Kubal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafekubal.com. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, located on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, is home to over 40 flavors with more than 200 flavors in their total wheelhouse. Sky's the limit for this sweet and savory Central New York company. Keep it local at your parties, fundraisers, wedding showers, baby showers, and more by calling 315-450-MA-PA. That's 315-450-6272 for popcorn bars with custom flavors and colors at your upcoming event. Make sure to visit them on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And for more information, go to maandpassnacks.com. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Here at Progressive Dental, we understand the importance of regular dental visits and preventive care. Cleanings and checkups are essential to good oral health. We have multiple locations in the southern tier, so come visit us in Binghamton, Enwell, Kirkwood, Montrose, and Norwich. For self-paying non-insured patients, we offer the Smile Plan, which covers all of your cleanings, x-rays, and exams for an affordable yearly price. Call 607-754-2273 or 607-754-CARE to make an appointment today. For more information, visit our website at progressivedentalny.com.
The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out to the Millhouse Market every Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Millhouse Market offering you a drive-through window where you could just grab your food and go, as well as their indoor dining and their general store with local products from local companies where they pay it forward and not just have their Millhouse opportunities there for you, but also they have soaps and syrups and honeys and children's toys and so much, and clothing and jewelry from companies that are here in our local community of Central and Upstate New York. The Millhouse Market, truly a very special place, and their menu even brings us back to the nostalgia and to the roots of Pulaski, New York, with sandwiches named after the families that helped to settle today's Pulaski, ingrained in our community and ingrained in our taste buds. The Millhouse Market, there for you on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. And make sure you go out there every weekend because their bistro menu changes in their indoor dining restaurant every single weekend. So every week, something new on the menu. Head out to the Millhouse Market and try what they have and constantly be surprised of all the incredible, incredible flavors that they bring to the table. And that's why they're worth the drive every single time to 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. With that being said, back here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Cafe Kubal studios, it is now time for me, and this is why I wore green today. Not just because it's my favorite color, but I wore green today because Marywood University, Oswego State, the Linden Hornets, NVU Linden out in Vermont, Lemoyne College, they all have the same colors. Green is one of them. And they're all back in practice today. I am ecstatic. I am excited. I am happy. I am thrilled. I am elated that after all this time, and for some people, 700 days, how can you fathom? 700 days. 700 days, 600 days, 700 days, 615, whatever it may be. These coaches finally get to be with their kids, and they put out some fantastic messages this morning. And I'm so appreciative of the messages that they put out, and it's so cool to see how much these coaches love their jobs And maybe this time has helped them to love their job even more. Maybe it's helped them to appreciate their job even more. And I want to read some of their messages too. Dave Paziak's message. Dave Paziak used to be a coach here for OCC. Now he's with NVU Linden. And he put a message out and he said, great start for NVU Linden Hornets men's basketball this morning at midnight. I really like this group of guys. It was also the official start of my 38th straight season of coaching basketball and my 23rd as a college head coach. I thank God for having had the opportunity to work with so many terrific players and coaches over the years. Jason Leone put up a statement as well. Jason Leone of the men's basketball program at Oswego State. October 15th. I haven't coached my team in over 700 days. Today I get to go back to doing what I love to do. Today Amber Leone hangs the sign back up in our house that reads, we interrupt this marriage for the start of basketball season. Today small college coaches enter a mental submarine for the next 5 months that nobody can quite understand or define if they aren't a coach. Thank you Amber, Sophia, and Gianna for allowing me to do this the only way I know how. Dedication, preparation, and long hours. Nobody runs a home better than Amber Leone. You are the best head coach I know. My work model is never perfect, but we make it work together, and I appreciate that. And Saturday date night wine always tastes better after the W's I get to share with you. Here's the season number 22. Let's go Lakers. There's a good one, Jason. I felt that. And Jason's going to be joining me, and this is why you watch the show live. Jason Leone, because you're the first to know, Jason Leone of Oswego State men's basketball is going to be joining me live on site, on location at the Manlius Cafe Kubal this Tuesday, October 19th, for our normal broadcasting hours of 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. during our normal hours here in the morning. We are going to be on site, on location at Cafe Kubal on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius with Jason Leone, following the fact that he finally is going to get to coach his team for the first time in over 700 days. I can't wait. Enrico Mastriani of Marywood University, he put out a post. This is what he said. Year 18 in college basketball. Year 14 as a head coach. Year 7 as a head coach at Marywood University. I'm grateful for all the places this game has taken me and anxious to get started on this season's journey. Today with a great group of men at our first practice. Thank you, Marywood University and the Marywood Pacers, for allowing me the honor of representing your colors. We will always strive to bring Pacer pride to your name. It's good to officially be back. Let's go. That coming from Enrico Mastriani, my dude at Marywood University. And to hear what Lemoyne thinks, go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt right at the end of this show and click on our Meet the Staff exclusive with new coaches Ben Swank, Speedy Fraser, joining head coach Nate Champion for a 4-way conversation that you won't want to miss. So many great things coming up. So many great moments to be had. To the coaches out there that get to return, I hope this, and with you that I love and I know so very well, I know that it humbled you this last year and a half. I know that maybe it reinvigorated you. I know that it maybe was the water that you needed. It's crazy how God works. That sometimes he fills our well in the strangest of ways. But he fills it. Welcome back. We missed you. We appreciate you. We share love and respect. And I am so excited that in my career, I've had the honor and the astute privilege of getting to know so many men and women who are leaders of our men and women. And I never thought the day would come that we would be taken away from something we love. But to see you all come back makes it all worth it. The comeback is greater than the setback. God bless you all. And with that, I say fins up. Lemoyne Dolphins Multimedia Marketing Partnership is exclusive to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. There's no better place to find information on the Lemoyne College Dolphins. And when you go to the Lemoyne College games, when you go to any Lemoyne Dolphins game, you're going to hear about Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and when you're here on Wake Up Call, you're going to hear about Lemoyne. That's what it does. It's community. It's cyclical. We are together, and I am so proud that Lemoyne helped me make history as their multimedia marketing partner, first ever in the history of the college, and I look forward to everything that we will do, including our Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, a big shout-out to the multimedia marketing partnership that is also exclusive to Marywood University with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. We have been tasked with covering the school that I went to, the school that is my colors, the school that I love, the school that I proudly wear on my chest, wear on my hats. Thank you to the Marywood Pacers. I have a pair of basketball shorts from Marywood, and the elastics all like messed up on and whatnot, and I won't get rid of them, and I wear them all the time. That's how much I love you, Marywood. Marywood University, Pacer Pride, coming to you every single month in our multimedia marketing partnership, and you will see us on campus as well with those Marywood Pacers. Shout out to Marywood. Pacer Pride all day, every day, and you can find them monthly in specials, including the Executive Director of Athletics special with Pat Murphy, brought to you exclusively right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in Pacer Pride. Big shout out to all of our partners in Central and Upstate New York as well. Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Progressive Dental, Pizza Man, Lemoyne Dolphins, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Millhouse Market, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, PB&J's Lunchbox, Honda City of Liverpool, Mother's Cupboard, and Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You're watching on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, Facebook.com/LiveNowDT, and on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. You're listening on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage. Make sure you subscribe, bookmark, and constantly go to WakeUpCallDT.com, the hub of everything we do with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And, of course, a big shout-out to everybody that has downloaded us and saved us on all of your favorite apps here. The apps that include, but are not limited to, Podbean, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, and MixLR. Search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora today, and you'll be able to pick up all of our shows. Over 1,500 broadcasts available to you just on Podbean alone, so make sure you check those out today. With that being said, I want to thank all of my awesome guests. I want to thank Carvel for the annoying moment of the week, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for lead, Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding for the top dog of the week. Shout out to our top dog, Alex Dodd, who helped us preview Syracuse and Clemson and tell us a little more about Clemson from the ClemsonInsider.com. Big shout out to the Commissioner Connection continuation of our series with Jessica Huntley of the Atlantic East Conference, the commissioner of that conference. And thank you to each and every single one of you. I hope you have a fantastic day. Check out all of our videos, our pregame show with Isaac Elford. It's on youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Social media at WakeUpCallDT. As for Facebook, Twitter at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. Let's get it tonight. Let's go. Let's have fun. Syracuse proved me right. I picked you. You were close against Florida State. You were close against Wake Forest. Close the gap and do it again almost 4 years later against Clemson. I believe in you, Orange. God bless. No stress. Do your best. We'll talk soon.